Hello, this is Mr. Teal. Today is Friday, September 25th. This is the video for those who are absent or need some additional assistance. Um, Today being Friday, today is feedback day. We are taking a feedback on integers, primarily dealing with real life situations. So there's not really a whole lot to cover as far as PowerPoint. Hopefully you've been able to get on the videos, been able to do the homework. And if you have any questions, hopefully you've been contacting your teacher. So for today, just to kind of get us going, we have the following 4 problems for self-start. You're welcome to hit pause and go through and see what you got. Okay, so the first one, this says a -4. This little dot means multiply. So -4 times a -2. Well, I know that with multiplication, if I have an odd number of negatives, my answer is going to be a negative. If I have an even number of negatives, my answer is going to be a positive. So back a couple days ago, we learned that we call this a not. So in this case, I have 1, 2 negatives. Because I'm multiplying, and this only works for multiplying and dividing, where I have 2 negatives, 2 is an even number, those nots cancel out, and I just do 4 times 2, which gives me an answer of 8. Adding, I see a -4 plus a -2. Now, both of them are negative. However, do not think of this as a not. The nots only apply to multiplying and dividing. When you're adding, it would look something like this. You would have 4 negatives and 2 negatives. I can't cancel anything out because I don't have any zero pairs. So my answer is just going to be a -6. I counted all these up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That's where I got my -6 from. With a subtraction problem, hopefully you remember about your superpower. Superpower says that you can take any subtraction problem, turn it into addition, like that. When I do that, however, a consequence always follows, so I have to do the opposite of the number next to it. So right now it's a -2. The opposite would be a +2. So now I have a -4 plus a positive. Okay, sorry for the technical difficulty. So I have a -4 plus a +2. So I'm going to draw 4 negatives. I'm going to draw 2 positives. There's a zero pair, and there's a zero pair because they each have a positive and a negative. And that's going to end up with 2 negatives, or a -2 for an answer. In this last problem, this says a -4. This slash means divide, so I have a -4 divided by a -2. Now, the same rule applies with division as it does with multiplication. An odd number of negatives, my answer is a negative. An even number of negatives, my answer is going to be a positive. In this case, I have 2 negatives, so these are not, so they cancel out, or there's an even number. So now I just have 4 divided by 2, which is 2. Now, we kept the same numbers, but we changed the operation, and that drastically changed the answer for all of these problems. So be careful, because they all have kind of different rules. So there's today's deep thought. You're welcome to pause it if you want to read it. As far as information goes, we're going to start using calculators, so please try to get them to class when you come back. We do start a new unit next week. Try to be here on Monday so we can go through the vocabulary words with you. But if you are absent, please make sure that you are continuing to get on Canvas, pulling up the PowerPoint, watching videos, and then doing the homework so you don't get too far behind, okay? For today, we've done the self-start. Students are turning in their homework packets. This week's packets, for those of you that were here, are teal, that's turquoise, I guess. Kind of a bluish color. There's 2 worksheets, but we'll get to that in a minute. We are doing a feedback today. Those of you who are absent will make up the feedback later on. And if there is any time today, we are going to start practicing how to use our calculators. So as far as the homework packets, it will include a turquoise cover sheet, 2 turquoise completed worksheets, and then a white Jeopardy paper if you didn't already turn it in. Those of you who have been working at home and just printing them off or sharing the files with me or emailing me, I've printed those off. Those are okay to have white. We'll give you full credit for it. The turquoise cover sheet, if you haven't been here at all this week, then don't worry too much about that. Make sure that you've got your name, date, and hour filled in so we know who to give credit to. We're folding them in half hot dog style, so please make sure that that's nice and neat. And the big thing is, when you do turn in your packets, please make sure that the worksheets are complete, because if they're not and you turn them in, they're just going to go in the garbage and you'll just have to start over. So please don't turn them in if they're not complete. After the feedback, these were the options I'm giving students. So those of you, again, absent, we'll just get you caught up when you come back. And there you go. As far as calculators go, we're going to be practicing with the TI-30X2S. Those of you that don't have that specific one, that's okay. We'll figure out how to help you manage yours. That's no big deal. Just so you can see what this looks like. So the one that we teach in class looks like this. They have multiple colors. I don't care what color, but this is the one I teach to. If you have a different calculator, maybe you picked up one that looks like this, we'll teach you how to use that one too when you come back. So, okay, so that's really it. Have a good weekend, be safe, and make sure you are staying caught up.